you cheering for
What's
me?
up, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of Live from the Bench. It's your boy GQ. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt I had on in the other episode. I don't care.
Me too. That was like a half hour ago. They don't need to know that.
This next episode, we gave y'all Eagles content that you guys need. You Eagles fans, you need it. You deserve it. You have to indulge. You have to ingest it. But now we got to give the fans around the league exactly what they need. And what y'all need is news stories around the NFL. And we got a couple different topics that we're going to talk about, a couple different things that we need to discuss and get it out there. You'll probably even see some more trade talks. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Boulevard, take it away because you seem like you got the mindset for it all.
Okay. First I want to talk about Jared. Like the whole thing with Dallas Cowboys and the fan tours through the stadiums and the practice facilities while they're working out and training.
Yeah, I read that.
I mean, like there's just a lot of bad juju coming out of Dallas for the most part. A lot of bullshit stories. I mean, bullshit is in there not real. I mean, bullshit is in there stupid as hell. Just stories of Jerry Jones and his behaviors. He's out of control.
Yes.
I mean, earlier in the year, there was a court case with him and a child that he basically hides from society, and it was paying the family to shut up about it. Yeah, then you get this shit with the fucking radio host a couple weeks ago because he didn't like their questions. Now you get stories of the fan tours walking through the practice facilities while players are doing what they're getting paid to do. Now, if you're doing something like working out or studying, you really don't want people gawking over your shoulder like, hey, bud, you want to sign my football? You don't really want that. But Dallas Cowboy players are kind of irked about it because they're being intruded on by fans while they're doing their job. How do you feel about it?
So I'm going to talk about it from this perspective of a player, the perspective of a coach, and the perspective of an executive for a developmental professional team. All right. As a player, I don't want nobody around me that ain't playing with me. Like you're a distraction and you're going to get in the way. Mm-hmm. And that's just like a no-no. Like I don't really want to be bothered. So like if I'm here and we recording and people who watch our show is banging on the window, that's gonna piss me off because that means you getting in the way of me doing what I gotta do. So right off that, you're a distraction and you're negatively affecting my ability to pay attention and focus on what I'm doing.
CD, you will sign my breast. CD, hey CD.
Yeah, CD actually said it gets annoying sometimes. He actually said it gets annoying.
That's how I imagine people in Texas sound.
So when CD Lamb says that, because when I saw the response from CD Lamb, him saying that it gets annoying sometimes, it makes me wonder how often this happens. How often are the fans permitted in these facilities? So. And then, as a coach, I'm livid because if you've ever been to a team, like an organized team event, fans are unruly. Yes. And that's with order and situation. So just imagine if it's not a organized event, like coaches and players aren't expecting this. It's definitely not unruly because like on the organized events, like players know that the fans are going to be trying to come to you, get whatchamacallit, so you prepare for it. They're not prepared for it if they're working out and fans come up to you like, you fucking up my set. Coaches are trying to teach. You fucking up my instruction. You're fucking up film study. I don't want that as a coach. And then as an executive, as a GM or a scouting director. I don't want fans anywhere near that. And I feel like this is one of those situations where
Right.
there's not a lot of owners who are as front facing as Jerry Jones is. And it's very telling and it's very problematic because I understand when he looking at it from the business thing and trying to increase from my business, but you should never do
Right.
anything that can be punitive, that can be negative, that can negatively affect your organization because you understand that everybody that you work with have a job to do. Like you have a job as the CEO, just like the people that you employ have a job. Like when we do what we do, Boulevard and myself, we don't bring people in here and tell them to go fuck with the intern. The
No.
intern has a job to do, and we do not have anybody fuck with the intern. Let the intern do what the intern does. You let Boulevard do what Boulevard does. When Boulevard's in here, he's looking at the analytics. Nobody's supposed to fuck with Boulevard when he's doing his analytics. Because you fuck with Boulevard, you do the analytics. Now the show is going to be held back because analytics are fucked up.
That's
So,
how I would start calling these little breaks that take where I dip off the screen. Boulevard's about to do some analytics.
but it's like it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot to it. It's like from a business perspective, Jerry Jones is messed up, and I've been seeing a lot from a lot of
See,
Cowboys
it works.
fans.
Jordan Mason takes this team into the box 36.7% of the time. This, see? Analytics. Go on.
Jerry Jones, and I've been seeing a lot from Cowboys fans, and there are a lot of Cowboys fans that are unhappy with this, and they're like, Jerry needs to step out of the spotlight and get an actual GM. I've been seeing this a lot, but before I break, I got a funny Dallas Cowboys story video I saw. I think I shared it to you. I think I sent it to you earlier, but I would talk about that after we're done talking about this because I want to get your take on this whole situation as well.
My what? Okay. See, I was having a bit of difficulties earlier between choking on analytics and internet kind of dragging. What was it you were saying for the most part?
Just like
Summarize.
I was finished with what I was feeling about the whole Jerry Jones,
Okay, yeah.
the front facing owner.
Man, if it's a distraction, it's a distraction. I mean, one side you could say, this is what they get paid to deal with. You know, they're borderline celebrities around town, local celebrities. Some people want to. It's the Dallas Cowboys. You know, the biggest, most popular team in America. Maybe ahead of the Yankees, maybe not. I'm not sure, but it's one of those two. And then the Lakers. So, I mean, everybody everybody's going to want tickets to go through that facility. That's probably a big draw, which means it's a lot of people. It's probably a damn circus. So, I can see where it would be a problem. I mean, I can see from the other side where, like, the people who aren't affected by it because they're upstairs in offices and whatnot don't see the problem. But when you're trying to do shit, like when you're focusing on the task, you know, just leave the players alone. You want to look at the players, but don't get in the players' face. The players have jobs to do. Just because you're there on your day off does not mean that they have a day off. They have a day off when they win.
Right.
And they have a week off at some point in the season. They don't need you in their face while they're going through their routine because this routine is the only thing that keeps them sane because the NFL is a grind. Sports are a grind in general. So don't be all up in their face. If you see them, say, cool, you know, take your pictures, do whatever, but don't bother them while they're working out. Don't bother them while they're doing research, while they're studying. Don't bother them while they're doing whatever they're doing. Okay? If they stop and talk to y'all, so be it. Otherwise, leave people the fuck alone. Just because you're like, wow, it's you. And you're like, hey, what? Okay? Because They're just people.
Right.
Let them
Agreed.
do their thing. All this celebrity shit, it isn't even real. All this hero worship shit is nonsense. They're just people.
They are.
I don't get starstruck. The only time I've ever in my life been starstruck was Bernie Sanders. And that is because he ran for president. And I've seen Bernie Sanders like 7 times. So it's not even a big thing now. He almost ran me over once.
Who was the one person that I've been starstruck one time.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I've ever been starstruck.
Robert Townsend. I've met Marla Gibbs. I've met Bill Cosby. I've met Big Worm. Who am I missing? I've met Will Smith. I've met Jada Pinkett twice. I used to know Rain Pryor. We were kind of friends. Yeah, like celebrity isn't a thing to me.
Yeah.
It never has been. You're just a damn person. You shit every morning just like I do. So
yeah, and I realized I learned that. Like because so I remember the only time in my life I've ever been starstruck. It was when I met Jason David Frank. The late great Jason David Frank. Only time. I grew up a big Green Ranger fan. I met
Didn't we all?
So, of course, I was going to be, and you know they say don't meet your heroes. He was the first time. He's probably the exception to the rule, don't meet your heroes, because he's a great guy all around. But I learned while I was in the military, because when you're in the military, people somewhat treat you like a celebrity. In the sense of they're always coming they go out of their way to walk up to you and say, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, to a point where it gets a bit patronizing and a bit annoying. So I learned that some people just want to be left alone, because I just wanted to be left alone, you know? So yeah, I get it. Not all these people, they just want to do their job and go about their business. So yeah, that's how I felt about that. But before we move forward to the next topic, it was a video.
Let me just say, I've met a lot more celebrities than I just named, like a lot more. Just go on.
Yeah, of course. So there was a video of a Dallas Cowboys fan who had just moved into South Philly.
Oh, shit.
And his car broke down in South Philly. So as he was looking at his car, someone pulled up, an Eagles fan. Pulled up. He's talking to him. Hey, what's going on? I need a jump. You need a jump? I'll give you a jump. Hold on. He pulled back. Guy had on a Dallas Cowboys shirt in the middle of South Philadelphia. The guy backed up his car. He reversed. He stopped his car in front of him. He popped his hood. The Dallas Cowboy fan came over to the passenger side, looked at him, gave him the middle finger. The look of devastation on his face.
Yeah, you showed me that. That was damn brutal.
The look of devastation on this man's face. It was just like, yeah.
I mean, come on, like the ballsiness. What did you expect to happen? You expect to be treated kindly? Wearing a Cowboys jersey in South Philly.
In South Philly.
Let me know any part of Philly, but South Philly. Literally where the stadium is.
Right.
You're a damn fool.
And what people got to understand about Philly is like Philadelphia Eagles fans will tailgate on days that they don't have games. So, like the audacity of a Dallas Cowboys fan to just do that. I haven't met many Dallas
Cowboys. Ordinary city where the golden rule applies. Where it's not. The golden rule does not apply if you're wearing a Cowboys jersey.
Right.
Okay. It just doesn't. Like, fuck them. I don't care if you're on fire. If there's a Cowboys jersey on fire and you're wearing it, I'm going to let it burn with you in it. And that's just the truth. Like, that's on you. You shouldn't have been wearing that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the truth, because it's like, that's just how far it's like you could take, there is a point where the human element does outweigh the fandom. However, the human element will only outweigh the fandom if you're not wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey or
Exactly.
shirt or
Mhm.
attire. Like,
Mhm.
I'll see you as a fan, as a human being, if you're not wearing it.
Right.
Once you wear a Dallas Cowboys attire, that means you are in front of my face supporting the Dallas Cowboys. So as
Mhm.
an Eagles fan, I hate you. And I can't help it. I don't hate many people, but Dallas Cowboys fan, I hate you. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a few friends that are Dallas Cowboys. There's a
Mhm.
guy I served with. He's a big fan of the show. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Hmm.
However, I mean, when he's wearing Dallas Cowboys uniform, so when the Eagles play the Cowboys, we are enemies. That's just as
Mhm.
far as it goes. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I wouldn't expect anything less from the Dallas Cowboys if I was to go to Dallas Fort Worth. I wouldn't expect anything less if I went down to Arlington. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Let me reconsider. If someone was on fire wearing a Cowboys jersey, I would piss on it to put them out. That is the only way I would put that fire out. Yeah, fuck Cowboys fans.
Fuck the
But y'all
Cowboys.
okay in the group. Y'all stay where you are, whatever. But yeah, y'all know what it is. And I hope you feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from Dallas Cowboys fans. Like,
Right.
if I'm
I hope
wearing
it's
this right here and we walk up to each other, we're humans. We're just humans
yeah.
talking to each other. But the minute I throw on an Eagles jersey, it's
Yeah, fuck that guy.
100% understand if you want to punch me in the face,
Right.
because that's how it is. Like the rivalry is a strength
I
of
mean, you're not
rivalry.
going to punch me in the face
Yeah, I mean,
because you're not going to want to get punched back in the face twice. So
but that's
yeah,
just how it is.
the return cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Let's go on to the next
get my
topic.
big ass head out the screen. Back on up. Whoa.
Let's get to the next topic.
All right.
What else you got, Boulevard? What else you got?
Oh, shit. Doug Peterson said a culture change is needed in Jacksonville. Does that mean he's going to quit?
I mean, I'll say this. In order for a culture change to occur in Jacksonville, is two things need to happen. One, Trent Baalke has to be fired. That is the first step to a culture change. Second step, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and say 3 steps. Second step to a culture change in Jacksonville: fire Doug Peterson. Step 3 to a culture change in Jacksonville: fire Doug Peterson's staff. That is where you'll see the culture change in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Because
That's true. Sure as hell.
that is 100% why the Jacksonville Jaguars are who they are. Doug Peterson is a one. If there was a such thing as a one-hitter quitter coach, it's Doug Peterson. Do you realize when Doug Peterson was the head coach in Philadelphia, Doug Peterson only had 10 or more wins in one season as the Eagles coach. Just one season. That was a season they luckily won the Super Bowl, but outside of that, they never won more than 9 games with Doug Peterson as a head coach. So, and I think he was there 4 years.
See, we give you the good stats over here.
So
like
that's why I say that I'm not surprised that Doug Peterson had a good year with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but then they digressed because Doug Peterson doesn't know how to follow up. He does not know how to follow up that success. He will get you here, but he won't get you any further. So,
well, here is not a Super Bowl in Jacksonville.
Yep.
I mean, ain't nothing going on over there, but maybe there's just a culture problem in Jacksonville in general, because at one point they brought Tom Coughlin in as GM because he was known as a hard-ass disciplinarian, strict.
Is that what you want from a GM though?
No, it isn't. It
I didn't think
isn't. But somebody had to come in and, put belt to ass, so to speak, I guess, because it's Jacksonville. It's America's toilet. So
I'll tell you, I know who can change the culture in Jacksonville. The
Florida
one
man.
person, huh?
Florida man. But that's it.
I got a head coach who can change the culture in Jacksonville.
Great show. Who?
Ron Rivera.
I like that.
Ron Rivera is the ideal, perfect replacement for Doug Peterson. Because I'm not going to like when Ron Rivera was fired in Washington, I knew it happened because it had to happen, not because he was a bad coach. It had to happen because Washington needed to cleanse themselves of everything Dan Snyder. So Ron Rivera is still good enough to coach in the NFL. Now, I'll say this. Bill Belichick is out there. I don't think Bill Belichick fits Jacksonville. He doesn't scream Duval. Ron Rivera seemed like he's the type of person that could fit in Jacksonville. But they need a new GM, though, 100%. Trent Baalke has to go.
I could definitely see Belichick being more of a GM in the future than a head coach. But everybody wants to talk now like they want him back as a head coach. But
I don't see any reason why not bring him in as a GM.
Yeah.
Let him be your GM, but Ron Rivera be your head coach. You just got to set certain boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. You got to set boundaries. Or we can go to your next topic, brother.
Make sure you get some clips from that shit because you've been on fire this episode. All right.
I will.
What is it called when it's happy, but it's not shouldn't be happy? Well, this is that. This is the sort of thing where we're supposed to be like, that's sad. But it's like karmic retribution. When somebody did a lot of dirt or has a lot of dirt as far as accusations thrown at them, specifically 26 counts, now 27. Deshaun Watson, his Achilles just went and blew up. Clear as day. Anybody with eyes could see it. Just went. And with that went his season, possibly his career. So that means Jameis Winston is finally up. Can he turn it around? I mean, do you want to talk about Watson? Do you want to talk about Watson? Because part of me really wants to talk about Watson.
Before I get into J Boo, because I'm telling you why. Because I'll explain why Jameis Winston is near and dear to my heart when it comes to this podcast, to this show. Everything that Live from the Bench is. He is very important to this show, and I'll explain that reason why. But I want to talk about Watson. I feel like I need to talk about Watson because I feel as though what he did is in a sense been somewhat people gave him a pass for the accusations that were put against him. Because let's go ahead and say that those 26 counts, 27 counts were against minors. Would Deshaun Watson be in the NFL? Even if they were all false.
Buried underground.
Exactly. Now, let's go a different route. Let's say those 26, 27 counts were against other men. Nobody would want him in the locker room.
Hell no.
So because it was women, it's like This is what men are supposed to do. We're supposed to want to have, these feelings toward women. It's acceptable. They just say that he got a little out of hand with it. But we can't have that mentality. So the people that are like, oh, that's messed up that you guys laughed at his injury. No, it's not, because that's karma.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, I have sisters, I have aunts, and I had mother. And I do not think that I would ever forgive this man for what he did. Because I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Just because that he wasn't convicted of charges, he paid them off.
Yeah.
There were settlements paid.
Yeah.
There were settlements paid. Y'all think that he keeping 100% of this $250 million guarantee? Nah. A lot of that money. He divvying that money up. He divvying that money up to people who sued his ass. So best believe, I know for a 100% fact. I can't say 100%. I'll say 98.9. He did it. He did it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that if anybody who has laughed at his injury, and I wouldn't normally laugh at anyone's injury, but if you laughed at his injury, I'm not mad at you. I understand.
I honestly haven't laughed at it, but I do find it amusing in a universe always corrects itself kind of way.
Right. I celebrated it because I celebrated his injury, not because he got injured. From a football standpoint, not because he got injured, but because the Browns now have a chance to win football games.
That's true. That's the most important factor here. But
the Browns now have, and I'm going to get right back into where I was going with this, where this topic was. Wait, were you done with Watson? Did you have anything else to put out about Watson?
No, you summed it up pretty well.
All right. Jameis Winston. Last season, I felt as though the Saints failed as an organization because Jameis Winston wasn't in the game. What people seem to forget is that Jameis Winston was a bad quarterback. He wasn't a bad quarterback, but he made some bad decisions. But because he threw 30 interceptions, but the man still threw 30 touchdowns. He still put up high numbers. He still won games. So I feel as though you got a guy like Deshaun Watson, and then you got Jameis Winston. Just like last season with the Saints, I felt like Jameis Winston gave the Saints a better chance of actually going farther and winning more games than Derek Carr did. We thought that Derek Carr was going to be the answer this year, and we showed that he was a fluke. It was fluky. Fluke is the reason why the Raiders got rid of him. So we see the fluke. It's a fluke here. There's a fluke there. So now I've been saying all year, the Browns need to start Jameis Winston. If they want to win, they need to start Jameis Winston. And that was going to happen. And I promise you, if the Browns win, let's say 4 or 5 games with Jameis Winston, I'll say I was right. I think it will happen. Jameis Winston will give them a spark because Jameis Winston is a student. He reads the game. He's a team player. So he's not – because Deshaun Watson, I remember a few weeks ago we did the video about Kevin Stefanski and why he should be fired for sticking with Watson for so long. That video of Watson walking off the field when Stefanski wanted to go for it at 4th and goal, Jameis Winston would have never done that. Deshaun Watson's ego and the fact that they'll paid him so much guaranteed money, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't need to be out on the field because he's getting his check no matter what. So I feel like Jameis Winston gives you a better chance of winning from a leadership standpoint because Deshaun Watson is no leader. He'll probably have more better backing by the rest of the locker room. And he's going to listen. So I think this is a good thing for them. And
whatever that moment that was that you just described on the field, I mean, whatever that really was internally, that had to be the moment the coach's fate was sealed.
Yes.
Like, no matter Winston wins or not, there's no way this man keeps his job. There's probably all sorts of locker room trauma already. Considering, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the players were not especially happy with Watson either, but it's probably just staying in house as it should.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to put that little 2 cents in there. Continue.
Oh, you're 100% correct. Because the thing is, when this is the NFL, so that means everybody's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's watching, especially everybody who matters. And what you don't want to do as a head coach, and I promise you this, that right there could be the reason why Kevin Stefanski never gets another head coaching job. Because if you allow anybody to dictate your offense or dictate what's on the field or what play you're calling, and you're not a coordinator or a coach, if you let somebody on the field dictate what you're doing, you should be fired. You do not deserve to lead any system.
These receivers are mid as fuck. Judy, Tillman, Moore, and Jamari Thrash. Is that James Thrash's kid? Jamari Thrash?
I actually thought that was at first. I thought it was. It's not. I looked it up. It's not.
Useless.
I did think that because he wore 80, you know.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was his son. It wasn't.
But he's useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so he don't have much work with. He got Njoku and the ghost of Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore. I don't know much about him. So.
I think you'll see. I believe is Chubb back.
Yeah,
he's back. So
he's back.
You'll probably see a lot more. And it's getting colder, so it's likely what was going to happen anyway. They're going to probably lean more on Chubb, lean more on that run game. Either way, so
they got. I mean, he's fresh coming off an injury, but he's fresh.
Yeah,
and this offense is a work in progress. The quarterback's just getting his first reps, and the running back's just coming off his first game. They're not in a great position right now.
No,
but they could be down the road, and they could be the kind of team who just shocks people this season.
Yes, they'll play. They are definitely playing spoilers this year.
Yeah, they're that team. They're that team you don't want to see week 15, 16, or 17 because they're knocking teams out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Before we shift, I want to explain why Jameis Winston is so near and dear to me when it comes to this show. So, a few years ago, there was a clip of Jameis Winston working out. He was doing his off-season workout. And it looked as if he was doing his workout in the projects out front in the lawn with a friend of his. You see the people in the back sitting on the steps, probably smoking. And it just didn't look like it was a very organized workout, which I don't judge anybody's workout, but the fact that there was an opportunity for discussion is what birthed the idea of allowing myself and my brother Boulevard to sit down and actually discuss, to actually create Live from the Bench. It was that started that video sparked that. So I will always root for Jameis Winston because of that, because he
showed up in the projects and did a workout.
He was in the projects working out, and the guy was just smacking him with a tackle dummy.
Well, hell, you gotta respect that. I mean, just them little kids even seeing an actual NFL player probably boosted their spirits so much and their morale, and they're thinking, "Hey, I could be that."
Yeah,
like that. Right there. So that's always good.
Yeah, but that wasn't my thought process at that point. It was more comical for me because I'm like, you're a professional quarterback. You should be able to have a better training regimen. But I understand your point of view. It's like you're stepping into a situation in an area where you don't have to be, but you're like,
and the majority of the celebrities are the typical hood celebrities.
Yeah.
I mean, I got out of there 20 years ago, so I ain't really the person to speak on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I ran the first chance I got.
Yeah.
Not so much run. It wasn't much of a
No,
run.
I
It was
didn't
more.
run here.
Yeah, it wasn't like a run. It was more like a bought my ticket, waited for it, and then
Yeah, shit. I came here on probation, so
he was,
definitely didn't run. I
he
took the
was
shit like a champion.
he was risking everything.
I
But
just
yeah,
wanted to get the hell out of there. Shit.
Jameis Winston's gonna be a big part of the success of Live from the Bench. I won't say the success of Live from the Bench, but yeah.
Yeah. And he is welcome to come on anytime, obviously. Make sure this gets clipped too. This is your episode.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, there's still plenty to go. Fuck you,
Let's
mean.
get it.
All right. Possible. Yeah, let's go with possible.
Possible.
Well, because he's probably in its possible rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels. Where do you consider him amongst the top quarterbacks in the NFL?
I'm going to put him right there in the middle. Even though he's probably performed like the best quarterback in the league this year, I'm going to put him in the middle because he's a rookie. And I'm not going to disrespect the quarterbacks that have been here before him. I'm not going to disrespect Lamar. I'm not going to disrespect Pat. I hate to say it, I'm not going to disrespect Dak, Jalen, like Gino. I'm not gonna just automatically just say that he is better than all of those. However, by the end of the season, I will change that. I am certain that I'm comfortable right now to say that by the end of the season, I will change my tone. And the reason for that is because the Commanders are dog shit. They're dog shit. Their roster is dog shit. However, Jaden Daniels was good enough to find the weapons and utilize them. So I'm willing to go that far. You're good enough to win receivers.
Well, I won't be polite about it. I mean, because statistically, at least statistically, he's playing better than Mahomes.
Oh, he's playing better than everybody.
Yeah, and that's got to count for something. I mean, the CJ Stroud last year was very similar.
Yeah.
Like he walked in the door playing like a top 5, top 10 quarterback and remains so.
Yeah.
Why can't Jaden Daniels do it? Why can't Jaden Daniels walk in the door and be a top 12 quarterback?
I don't want to say, like, I believe that at the end of the season, I'll probably say, yes, he probably is a top 10 QB. But I don't want to say anything because we're only 6-7 games in.
Mm-hmm.
But I am certain that if he continues, as weird as this season has been, let's make sure everybody understands this. I love Jaden Daniels. I really do. I like him. But so it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be like, I support this guy. I like this guy. He's better than probably 75% of the quarterbacks. He's coming out there. He's putting it up there. He's definitely, and from a talent standpoint, he's definitely better than Kirk Cousins, Stafford, Goff, Darnold. He's better than those guys. He may even be. I think you give him a few years, he'll be better than Dak. Dak got lucky enough to have a crazy receiver and a guy that can catch passes in volume, because that's the reason why that's the reason why he's got the yards.
Right, I'll give you a 5 to 10. Tell me you'd put these ones ahead of Daniels. Burrow.
No.
Hurts. Mahomes, Prescott, Allen. Did I even say Jackson yet, did I?
No.
Okay,
So
those are the obvious. So then you got like
it's hard. It's hard.
for so yeah, I mean he's at least in the top 15 currently.
Yeah. That's why
I got him
I say I put him right there at 15.
12 and climbing.
But by the end of the season, he'll definitely be in the top 5. And I only say that because Mahomes is there,
Mm-hmm.
Lamar is there,
Mm-hmm.
Allen is there. I'm not a big Josh Allen fan at all. And then Clayton Tune's there.
You think so anyway?
But yeah, Clayton Tune. But like when you got CJ Stroud, I'm not gonna throw CJ Stroud out. Like yeah, it's the jury's still out, but I'm confident that by the end of the season, Jaden Daniels will submit himself as a top 10 quarterback, at least for the season.
Yeah. Well, we called it on this show, Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year anyway.
We did.
And the reason why I say that is because this week in the NFL, it'll be Jalen Daniels, the number 2 pick in the NFL draft, versus Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Let me tell you, who do you have winning this game and why?
Okay. Caleb's gonna have a big game. However, the defense is going to be too much, and Caleb's going to throw a lot of interceptions. Caleb's going to throw a lot of turnovers against a stout Dan Quinn defense. They're going to put him on his back. Honestly, I'm going to take my first statement away. Caleb Williams is going to have and I only said that because I have him on my fantasy.
Yep.
Caleb Williams is going to spend a lot of time on his back this game. I feel like he'll throw turnover. He'll have turnovers. He'll be sacked a lot. So I got Washington winning this game to maintain number 1. They'll maintain the lead in the NFC East.
Damn it.
Commanders will maintain the lead. But I'm gonna say Washington takes this win. There's just so much more certainty in Washington winning. Like I'm more confident in Washington. I feel like the Bears being 4-2 right now, it just doesn't seem realistic. So it's just like
is it because it's Chicago specifically? Is it the coach? Is it Caleb himself?
I don't know. I feel like they had the weapons to really be a good team. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like at some point the buck's gonna stop, the shoe is gonna drop, and they're gonna expose themselves for what they are because that's what that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna happen. It's a matter of time before it happens. Because these other teams they're beating are going to wake the fuck up. The Vikings are gonna wake up. Like they're gonna wake up and the Bears are gonna be like, but they're gonna be stuck there holding the bag, like, okay, we didn't,
Mm-hmm. Bears are a 3-point favorite over under 43.5. Take the under.
Yeah, I take the under too. I feel like this game's gonna be like 13-20. If that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Chicago has a lot of field goals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thought. I'm craving more. Boiled eggs. That's bad.
All right. I saw this on the facility earlier. One of the matchups this week is the Chiefs versus the Raiders. Someone on the show said, well, it was suggested that the Chiefs, this should be an easy matchup, and they should just beat the shit out of them, beat the shit out of the Raiders. It shouldn't be any matchup at all. So, do they need to? Should they? Is this a statement game?
I don't think it's a statement game, but I feel like whenever you come out and play football, I feel like when there's a such thing as sportsmanship, I think sportsmanship is like if somebody falls, you like extend a hand to help them up. That's
But then you yank
expired.
that shit back when they reach out. Yeah.
I feel like sportsmanship shouldn't extend to the scoreboard ever.
No, it should not.
It should never extend to the scoreboard. If you're on the field and you're scoring 84 points and you're at the 2-yard line on fourth, you're at the 2 at fourth with the fourth,
And I have 90 points.
you score again. And I don't think that's a that's
Yes,
I don't
have
think
the
that's
ball.
that's
I'm
an
trying to
unprofessional
score.
or unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't think that's unsportsmanlike. I think that's the game of football because at every aspect of the game, your job is to score points. You're not out there to play tic-tac-toe. You're not out there to say, "Oh, let's give them." It's not nice. No. Like those rules that you see in all sports. Like I've seen where a player, a team, an NBA team is blowing a team out by 40, and one of the teams just runs down the field and dunks the ball, and the other team's upset because he did it.
Mhm.
Kiss my
Reminding
ass.
them stupid as unwritten rules. You
Kiss
play
my
until the
ass.
game's over.
Yeah,
If they
I
can't
was taught
stop
to
you
play to the
from
whistle.
scoring, then they can't stop you. That's a them problem, not
Yeah,
a you
that's
problem.
your problem. That's a problem on
Yeah.
you. That's a reflection of your inability to stop me from doing what I do.
I mean, if
If
I'm
a
around
running
you
back
two and
has
you
the
keep
ball,
giving me the lane, I'm going to keep taking that lane all the way to
exactly.
the end zone. Like, I'm not going to coach my players or tell my children in any form or fashion to cut themselves short.
Exactly.
You play all out every play. Hell with the score. The score don't mean
Exactly.
shit till the game is over.
Right,
Don't
because
even
I'll
look at
give you
that
a
damn
scenario.
scoreboard. Don't worry about your stats. Don't worry about the damn scoreboard. All that shit's for after the game. All you
Yeah.
focusing now is what your job is in this moment on this play.
Yeah,
That's all
because
you
I'll
need to
give a
focus.
scenario. You got the ball at the 20-yard line. You're leading the score 40-3. You hand the ball off to your running back. And your running back gets a lane and he's running. And he gets to like the 2-yard line and just falls to the ground.
Oh, I hate
This-
that. I hate that so fucking
It
much.
bothers me so much.
Like, they're like, it's
Get-
sportsmanship. That shit is unprofessional as hell.
That is very much. There's nothing sportsmanlike to that. That's
not
even
That's
more disrespectful
as
than anything.
shit.
That's more disrespectful to
Yeah.
the opponent than anything because it's basically saying like, "Oh, I'll give it to you." No, I'm
I
not
could have
doing it.
scored, but I'm not gonna. That's how
It's
good
like
we
no,
are.
you go out there and you put those points because that's the rule. It's like when you got your nail, you banged it into the board. It's halfway in there. What you gonna stop banging it? No, you bang it and bang it and bang it till it's all the way in.
That's
You
how
don't
babies are born.
stop. We don't do that. You don't stop just because you might hurt somebody's feelings. These are
Fuck all
grown
them.
men, professional football players. And here's something that everybody needs to understand. When it comes to professional football, you're paid to do a
Mhm.
job. If you blow out your opponent by 40, 50, 60, 70 points, guess what happens to your opponent? They still get paid. They still get paid. It don't matter if you score 500 points. You don't get paid less because you don't score 500 points. No, you do what you got to do. Do it. And I rest my case on that.
I got achievements popping up over here for Xbox.
Wait. Achievements.
Yeah, we're gonna clip the hell out of this episode.
Oh, What
Guys,
else
y'all
you
gotta
got?
excuse me. I'm just dealing with some sinus issues.
Oh yeah.
Is AJ Terrell DK Metcalf's bitch? We all saw the play by now. This man just holding him out like he's a damn kid, and he's got his hand on his head, but it was his jersey, but he's just holding him like this. You can see holding him back. And boy, just taking it, being walked backwards, just punked the shit out of him. So I
All
ask,
right.
is that his bitch? Is he as a bitch now? Does he have to shine his shoes, like clean his shoes every day, wash his drawers? Is AJ Terrell
No,
washing DK Metcalf's drawers?
no, AJ Terrell's not DK's bitch. AJ Terrell is DK's son.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Because
slightly different.
that's how you treat your son. When your son get out of line. When your son steps up to you, you grab your son by the collar and you say, "Listen here." That's his son.
It's gonna happen to you.
My son will never. DK, AJ Terrell is DK's son.
Mm.
DK is AJ Terrell's daddy. He said, "Daddy." He said, "Listen here, son. You're not making a tackle. He's gonna run right by you. Clear?" And AJ Terrell was like, "Yes."
What you gonna do when your kid grow up to be DK Metcalf size and try to fuck with you? And he only like 14, but he DK Metcalf size.
Yeah. Throat chop.
No.
Judy chop.
Okay.
Judy chop to a leg. You know what they say? Don't go ninja. Nobody don't need ninja. Because one thing you know, go for kung fu kicking and a Judy chopping. Next thing you know, there goes your leg.
Indeed.
Y'all gotta go. Y'all listen. Judo chop. Go Google it. Judy chop.
I'm gonna stay over here.
Trailer park. What was it? Trailer park. Is the trailer park ninja? It don't matter.
Okay.
Keep going.
Just because this is the most relevant matchup to our watchers and followers. San Fran versus Dallas. Who wins?
San Fran.
Who will win?
San Fran.
Yeah. And why?
Well, San Fran is still the most complete team, even with their injuries. They're a better coached team. They're a better
mostly
run.
to full strength now. At least
Huh?
offensively. They're almost back to full strength now, mostly offensively, right?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
All right.
But they're still a more complete team, even with injuries. Dallas wasn't a complete team at 100% health. They don't know what they have at receiver. They just have CD. They don't know what they have at running back. Like, they barely have a starting running back. Like, Rico Dowdle is not their starting running back. Zeke's not their starting running back. Freaking.
Oh, you mean of the future?
Oh, no, right now.
Oh.
They're more like San Fran is a more complete team, even with injuries. Like, they just
They
have
got a lot of limited in practice DNPs.
And then not only that is I feel like Brock Purdy has a better handle on his team's offense than Dak does. Because you look at Dak, it's like Dak will take a sack before he's going to go out there and get you extra yards. And I don't know. I don't want to seem like I say these things because I don't like the Cowboys. And it's not because I don't like the Cowboys. It's just when it comes to the Cowboys actually being challenged, they fall short every time.
Mm-hmm.
They can't win against teams that put up a fight against them. They can't win. So that's my fault.
They can't come from behind to win. They can't grind out. They They can't play grinded out games either. Their run game is just not legit
Yeah.
at all.
And another thing about Dallas Cowboys,
like situations in the league.
yeah. Another thing about Dallas Cowboys is like when the defense, because that's what usually you get. When a defense comes in and punches Dallas in the mouth offensively, Dallas can't recover.
Mm-hmm.
They have no way of recovering. They start playing scared football.
You said y'all weak.
They play desperation ball, and they get very lucky. And this is what I've seen. Is like they get very lucky. They'll just play desperation ball and just start throwing the ball deep or throwing the ball 20, 30 yards down the field because they're too scared to actually do anything from short because they're scared of being hit in the mouth. So they try to stretch the field because they don't like contact. So when they play against a defense that is very aggressive, like San Francisco, like the Eagles, and that's the reason they beat the Eagles, because they beat the Eagles by throwing passes that are extending outside of the Eagles' physical range. That's what they do. They play outside football. They don't play from within because when they get hit, they can't take it. When Dak gets hit, Dak cries. Their running backs, they're not physical. They're not physical. So when I say they're soft and they take a hit.
They pudding, they oatmeal, they cream of wheat.
And it's not just me saying this from an Eagles fan standpoint. It's just like whenever you watch them play, they play like they can't take contact. They play like LeBron James when it comes to contact, and then they cry about it. They play like Tom Brady did every time it wasn't enough time on the play clock. Like, that's what the Dallas Cowboys do. They're just whiny babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, babies annoy the shit out of you. All right. I was going to let you have the floor so you could talk about your team, your squad, the Army.
The Army Black Knights.
Black Knights. Why was I drawing a blank on that?
I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know already, GQ was a service member for 12 years. And I would regularly attend Army versus Navy games. So understand that this right here is very near and dear to my heart. And for the first time in I don't know how long and ever in my existence on the planet, the Army is undefeated. They're ranked. I mean, I don't know if they've ever been ranked before. I don't know. But this is like a big deal for me. It's like, it's cool. So this past week, we saw the Army quarterback completely put on a show. I don't have the stats right here in front of me, but I mean, if anybody knows anything about that game that they just had, they wiped the floor with their opponent, and it just was beautiful to see. It was exciting. And it just, just being a member of the armed forces, being a member of the U.S. Army, it was just nothing but pride to watch. And then being a football fan, it was also some pride to watch. I just love seeing it. So, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Army quarterback, Carson Daly.
That's not right.
It's not.
Bryson Daly.
Same difference.
That is really close.
But yeah, it was just exciting to watch.
They beat East Carolina 45-28. Yeah. Your boy Bryson Daly had 31 carries for 171 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. That's right, 5 touchdowns. 7 of 10 for 147 and a touchdown through the air. Your boy had 6 touchdowns. And I also want to point out Army's won national championships.
They did.
Yes, Army's had Heisman winners.
That's crazy.
Mm.
Too bad that Bryson Daly's not going to the NFL
No.
because he's going to serve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first two Heisman winners from Army. Apparently, it's Doc Blanchard, Glenn Davis. That was the backfield, back-to-back years, and Pete Dawkins, 1958. Army won 3 consecutive national championships in 44, 45, and 46. Yeah.
Interesting. Huh? What else we got? What else you got? Watch it, sucker.
Enough already.
Huh?
Let them have it.
Wait, say what?
I said, let them have it.
Oh, okay.
We can close it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around. And if you're here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And I want to thank you for coming to the show. And I suffice all that to say, we can all be starters, and the Cowboys suck. And there's no one else that can tell anybody what exactly they can do. And that's you, Boulevard. Please let them know.
Oh, yeah. Like, subscribe, and hit the bench.